Hey, welcome to my channel and to another meal prep. This week was really easy because I only made 2 things. I told you on my menu plan I was only going to eat, not make any snacks. Well, I did make one because I saw it on TikTok. And the next time I make it, I'm going to film a video. It's a yogurt and Cool Whip dessert. David fell in love with it. He's like, oh, okay, I think I want to eat this every day instead of my regular yogurt. It's really good. Partly probably because I couldn't find the right yogurt. It probably has a lot more carbs in it than it should, but that's neither here nor there. Next time if I have to use Greek yogurt or something, I'll figure it out. Anyway, that's not what we did today. I made some tortilla chips in the oven with my low carb balanced tortillas. I'll give you this little hint. The little whole wheat ones that I got, like, that size, they're thick and they kind of make up like a cracker more than a chip. So I would stick to the thin tortillas. They'll be more chippy. But that's going to go with the Trader Joe's dips that we got. There's no need to make something else when I got those dips on hand. Now, the other 2 recipes I did make, the first one is for a quiche Lorraine, but it has a crust. I just left it off and I'm just calling it Crustless Quiche Lorraine. And that came from a Simply gluten-free cookbook, something to that effect, a gluten-free cookbook. And then in the same cookbook, I found vegetarian chili. I'm like, no, I want meat in mine. And I took the beans out. Now, I did add a little corn. Corn in its kernel form like that is a whole grain, and it is very good for you. And spread out over it. It's carby. It's very carby. But spread out over the servings of 8 chilies, I don't think it is too much. The carbs might not be what you consider low carb, but it's lower carb than a typical chili full of beans would be. So that is what I made this week. And let's see, I think that's all I know. So we'll just get started cooking. To start on our quiche, we're going to make our bacon. Now, I didn't fry regular bacon, so I'm having to use the grease that I had on hand. My pan is preheated. I'm using, obviously you can see, the fully cooked bacon. I crisscrossed the whole package on here because you'll see it does not make a difference because it's going to be crumpled anyway. I popped it in the microwave, and then since if the recipe calls for 12 ounces of bacon, so if you fry your own bacon, save 2 tablespoons in the pan. That's all you need. Now I'm just going to play with that in the melted oil until it comes off my spoon. This is, I don't remember, half an onion? Yeah, it's half an onion. And we're just going to let it saute in that bacon grease, kind of low. I get a little bit high on my cooking, but kind of low, medium maybe, until it's browned and caramelized. And so just go in and stir them around every little bit. While the onions are cooking, we're going to make our egg base. And we start with 3 eggs. Now you want to beat them enough to where that yolk is really combined. You don't want any extra pieces. That don't even make sense. That's 2 cups of, well, actually it's 1.5 cups of half and half. You can probably substitute other milks if you wanted to, if you're watching points or calories. This is half a teaspoon of mustard powder. And then, I'm trying to think what's coming up next. Salt and pepper. Salt and pepper to taste. When the eggs are blended, just set them aside. Now, I was going to use my tart pan, calls for 10-inch. But there was a crack in it. It's my pampered chef. I didn't know it, but there was a crack in it. So luckily, I have the deep dish pie pan. It's 9-inch and it's 2 inches deep, and that's exactly what the recipe calls for. So the bacon went for 1.5 minutes, and this is what I wanted to show you. Now, if I'm serving individual pieces, I'm not going to overlap it, but maybe one layer. This is just how easy it is. To me, this is worth not chopping and frying and making a mess of bacon. So you just squish it up because all you want is crumbled bacon in the bottom of your pie plate. Pie plate. We're going to put the onions on top of the bacon. Just kind of spread them out as evenly as possible. Then we're going to put some cheese. It's a cup of Swiss cheese. And then a half a cup of cheddar cheese. And you can pick and choose whatever cheeses you like. Mix and match however you want to do it. And then we're going to pour our egg mixture evenly over the top of that. This step is optional. Just sprinkle a little bit of nutmeg over the top. I figured, why not? We'll see if it's good because I don't know if it will be or not. Now, this will bake at 350 for about 50 minutes. To start our chili, we want to brown 1 pound of whatever type of ground meat you want. I'm using hamburger. It's the 93%. You can use whatever. You can use turkey or chicken if you wanted to. That's up to you. And then the vegetables we're going to need for this are celery, probably 2 regular sized stalks, a small green and red pepper, a medium onion, and 2 regular sized carrots. But this is what I had on hand. Now we're just going to chop everything up and add it to the pot. So there's the onion, the carrot, the celery, the green pepper, and the red pepper. Now we're just going to let this cook. Well, we're going to add some garlic first. What do you know about that? A couple of cloves of garlic, how much ever you want. Now we're going to let this finish cooking until the vegetables are tender. I did come in and put a lid on it because it was getting kind of dry, and I wanted to help maybe steam those vegetables a little bit. Now that it's done, there's like brown bits on the bottom. Use a can of beef broth and pour a little bit in to scrape up the brown bits off the bottom. I didn't quite get enough the first time, so I go in with just a little bit more. And then once you get the bottom scraped up, then we'll add the rest of the ingredients, which is the rest of the beef broth, 2 cans of diced tomatoes in juice, and do not drain them, and 1 can of corn that has been drained. I happen to have white corn. Stir that around, and then we are going to add our seasoning. It is 2 teaspoons to begin with anyway of chili powder, and then 2 teaspoons of cumin. We're going to stir this around, let it cook, maybe a half hour or so till it starts to, it didn't, well, you'll see it didn't really thicken, but it cooks down, and it gives the tomatoes time to cook. But you see how thin it is? That's more like a stew or a soup. Well, you could definitely stop there and have a vegetable beef chili soup, whatever you want to call it. So I'm adding xanthan gum. If you're not doing low carb, you can do cornstarch and water. So I stirred it around a little bit with, that was a half a teaspoon, and I didn't think it was getting thick enough, or either I'm impatient, so I did another half a teaspoon, and that was thick enough for me. Then, see, it's just a little bit, so it's not completely dry, but it's not runny. Then, of course, chili to me has ketchup in it. So this is 1/3 cup of sugar-free ketchup. Stir it in to mix it well, and I tasted it, And to me, it needed a little bit more chili powder. So you season this any way you like. You can add jalapenos to it, hot sauce, I'm plating it up and I'm putting 2 servings per container. That way, when it's lunchtime, me and David can split it. So this did come out to be 8 servings. All right. So for breakfast, we're having the Crustless Quiche Lorraine, 4 big servings for 6 net carbs each. Our vegetable beef chili, that's 2 servings per container, so me and David can split it. That is 14 net carbs a serving, which is not low carb, but 14 for lunch, 6 for breakfast, that's only 20, and I go 30 to 50, so I've still got plenty of room to play all day long. That is it for me this week, and I'll see you in my next video.